Hey everybody, Jake Dodds here, and welcome to This Week with Jake Dodds. This is a little pilot episode, maybe for an idea that I've had for a little bit to do sort of like a weekly podcast video series, something to put on my YouTube page, which I don't use enough, but I want to start using a little bit more, and just where I'll give you like a rundown of what we've been up to this week, what we have coming up, and then maybe we just talk about what's going on in the world. I like current events. I've been obsessed with current events since I was in the 7th grade. My social studies teacher, Jim Weaver, I believe it was Jim Weaver, Mr. Weaver obviously, made us watch headline news, and I always found that so interesting, and I've been obsessed with the news ever since, and I don't want to go into the politics of everything or anything that's like super divisive, but I thought it might be fun to just like give a quick rundown of the things that I've been listening to and watching that week. I love history and things like that, and so maybe we just learn a little bit more about each other each week on this show in quick little spurts, something to put up on the YouTube page, and for something for maybe you guys to feel a little bit closer to me as an artist. So this is the pilot episode. I have my iPhone, I have a ring light, and I have this very good Shure microphone, except I'm audio mixing myself, and not great at that, but maybe we'll get better. We'll see how it sounds. I used to do a podcast all the time, but then you have to host it and things like that. And it's a little bit of work, and it costs a little bit of money. I thought this might be a little bit more exciting, something to do. So let's get started. This is This Week with your host, me, Jake Dodds. All right, guys. So we started off, it's Thursday right now when I'm sitting here in the office, and it's actually crazy behind me. I've been working on accounting stuff all day, actually the last 2 days, and in my head is a spiraling mess, which is why I thought maybe it was a good time to jump over here and do this for a little bit just to get my head cleaned back out. So like I said, it's Thursday. It's been a short week, nothing really going on as far as music, nothing too pressing this week. Last week we had the single release, and we had 4 shows, which back in the old days, 4 shows would have been pretty standard, but nowadays 4 shows was actually a lot of work. Played Thursday night in Bloomington, Indiana, which happens to be my hometown bar, Bluebird, great place. I love playing there. We got to open the show for an up-and-coming artist, which a lot of you probably already know, named Cooper Allen. He's great. He's huge on TikTok, like 5 million plus followers. Great guy, great camp, and we had an amazing time at the show. Appreciative to them for having us. But the show went well, and then we hung out for a while after the show. Like I said, Cooper, the band, the crew, everybody's super cool. Obviously, everybody at the Bluebird, friends of mine. And so we all went and hung out for a little bit afterwards, and had a show Friday night too, so I was feeling a little rough, to be honest with you, come Friday morning. I like to party, so nothing too crazy, but I do like to party, and I hate to be the first one to go home. I have like the worst case of FOMO that probably ever existed. So always staying to the last minute. Played a golf course near home, which we played for years also, in my hometown of Bloomington, Eagle Point Golf Course. And weather was crappy, so show got moved inside to a little smaller area, but we still had a great time out at Eagle Point. Thank you to all of you that came and supported us at both of those hometown shows. It was fun to be back in Bloomington. The single came out Thursday night into Friday. We got our first Spotify editorial playlist along with a bunch of other playlists on Spotify, which was awesome. That's not something that I've really had happen a whole lot in the past, so really excited about all that. Thank you to Trevor Perkins, my publicist, and thank you to all the playlists that added us. Raised Rowdy, New Music Nashville, Whiskey Riffs, New Music Friday. We got a lot of New Music Friday playlist, and so thank you to everyone that added She Goes to Work featuring Carly Rogers to that playlist on Friday morning. That was huge, and so excited to have it out. Really proud of this duet, proud of Nico Albanese that produced it, proud of everybody that played on it, and proud of my buddies that I wrote it with, Sam Johnson, Max King, and John Pate. You guys are top-notch fellas, and thank you for not only letting me be a writer on the song with you, but let me be the messenger of this incredible song. Saturday, we played a private event up in Kokomo, Indiana, for my good friends Scott and Cammie Ronk. Scott and Cammie are some folks that I met at Old Red in Nashville a few years ago. Their son, Parker Price Miller, is a World of Outlaws sprint car driver, and they were coming back from a race. It was Parker's birthday. Coming back or going to a race. Parker's birthday, they stopped into Nashville. We met up. They saw my Indiana hats from Brandon Bills. Shout out Brandon Bills. And we started talking. Scott tried to hire me. I guess I told him no a few times. Probably true. And we finally agreed a few years ago to play his private party. And since then, they've been great friends, amazing people. And so we play the Halloween party every year. Just kind of like an old school private party, something that we don't do a lot anymore. So always kind of fun and get to play around, not be as serious about it. And got some of the little kids that were hanging out up to try to sing Fancy Like. I was no help. I don't know that song well enough, but I'm learning it. My 7-year-old has finally caught on to Fancy Like, so I'm late to the craze, but I'm here for it. And then we partied pretty hard on Saturday. Again, I stayed up really late. Was one of the 3 last to leave, and so having a great time hanging out with Parker and everybody and Levi. It was Levi's birthday, so we hung out a little bit longer than probably any of us should have, and got to the hotel just in time to get about an hour's worth of sleep. Had to jump up, drive just a quick hour south to Indianapolis, and we played a show for the Indianapolis Colts, which was really cool, in the Colts touchdown town outside of Lucas Oil Stadium. My first time, the last time I was at a Colts game, the Colts still played in the RCA Dome, which if you're not from Indiana, maybe that doesn't mean anything. But if you are, that's a long time ago. At my first time at Touchdown Town, I think the show was great. Got to meet Debbie Knox from CBS 4, which was really cool. Big fan. And we had just an awesome weekend. This week we're going to Tennessee, playing a show in Weir Mountain Music Fest. It's going to be a really fun time. It's not that far outside of Nashville. I think it is 2.5 hours maybe outside of Nashville. Salina, Tennessee, the Quarry. It's going to be great. So excited to be there. There's like 25 other artists, and I'll give you a rundown about how it all went on this same show next week. As far as life, let's see what's been going on this week. I heard yesterday they approved the jabs for ages 5 to 11. That's a little bit... I'll keep my eye on it, I guess. As to say, I have a 7-year-old girl, so definitely keeping my eye on that. I have not done that myself. I had the native version of it, and had basically would not have ever known if it wasn't for some procedural things, but didn't have a bad time of it all. Obviously, it's a very serious thing that you should take very serious. But interesting to see where that's going. The Virginia election was this week. That was exciting. I guess if you're into that stuff, I'm into that stuff. I think it's very entertaining. I'm going to be honest with you. I used to really care who won or lost. Anymore, I don't really care. I think it's all a shell game. I just find it generally interesting, and I like political history and American history, so I like to compare it to the context of histories, of stories throughout history compared to the modern day, and always love just to hear different people's takes on it from that stuff. But I don't really care who wins or loses anymore. I think they all do the same stuff more or less. Obviously, it was a little bit of an upset. So if you're team red, then I guess congratulations. And if you're team blue, then I'm sorry. But I guess you have now another year to gear up and go at it again. And for the midterms, always love election nights. It's kind of like, I guess I'm nerdy because I consider like election night right up there with like a good game, Like I'm going to get B-dubs or a pizza. And I'm going to watch it, especially the presidential election. And I think that's like more common for my age group. Like when I first started being interested in politics, like that wasn't a thing, but I feel like it is a thing now, which maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. Because I feel like some people just pick teams. Some people are actually studying the facts and learning their positions. Like I said, obviously I used to really care. My positions have changed drastically from when I first started caring. And so I obviously have my opinions, but I'll keep them to myself because I don't need to share them with you guys as much as you don't need to share yours with me. And if you choose to, that's fine. Do it in a respectful way, but I won't do it here. That's not what we're here for. But that is at least something that I was watching this week, and that's what I want this show to be all about is what's going on week to week, just another way for us to connect. Hopefully you'll like this idea. If not, I don't know. It's a whole nother thing. I don't have time to do this probably, but it's been something I wanted to do. So I'll just add it to my to-do list, and I'll try to get you one every week as long as you guys are loving them. So this has been This Week with your host, me, Jake Dodds. See you guys next week.